I would like to start by asking the relationship that Italy has with tactics, because you guys seem so invested in it. If we watch like press conferences in Italy, it's all about tactics. Why do you think that's the case?
The 95% of the Italian tactic is just defensive tactic. For the Italian school or the past catenaccio or these kind of things, it's especially about how you have to defend, and probably just 5% how you need to attack.
You mentioned catenaccio. It is specific defensive tactic. How do you see the change in your progression from that, from having a libero, a sweeper, and then this role kind of either disappearing or evolving?
I think the libero position, the one that you mentioned, disappeared. The player that he was 20-25 meters in behind of the defensive line, so this disappeared completely. For me, when you attack well, you prevent also any risk from the other teams. I said many times, when we prepare a game, while we are attacking, we need to be ready to defend.
When we talk about influences in Italian football, we obviously talk about Arrigo Sacchi. We're talking about catenaccio, but then you have the counter proposal to that. You arrived at Milan as a kid when he just left and they were the best team in the world. What kind of impact did it have in you ever since you were very young?
I will tell you one thing. So in January 2017, I left the football as a player. In February 2017, I was at Arrigo Sacchi home for 4 or 5 hours, and it was 4 or 5 hours fantastic. Then I still remember that we finished like 9 o'clock in the evening. When we finished, he asked to me, do you want to know more things or it's enough? So he was still there with, hungry to tell me things. For me, I'm 45, but the ones that I still remember a little bit, it's Cruyff, Sacchi, and Pep. Tactically genius, so they are ahead of us, of the rest, because they can see things that we need time to realize that.
It's such a current discussion in terms of individualism in teams. How do you use it? Because he would always say that he doesn't want soloists. He likes his team as an orchestra. How do you balance this? And what do you think managers can learn from Sacchi in terms of the way he just orchestrated literally that?
Yeah, but he is right. You need the orchestra, but inside the orchestra you need 1 or 2 artists. They make the music better, with the small details. I like my team, like everyone working in one direction, and then you need Cole Palmer, you need Estevao, or you need players that in some moment they can decide games in the way they do.
You worked under some pretty good managers, especially when we think about that Juventus side that you played for. What an outstanding side, especially under Lippi. What was it about that team that you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, as you said, many fantastic players. Zidane was there, Del Piero, Inzaghi, Gigi Buffon was the keeper, Antonio Conte was the captain, Edgar Davids, so that was fantastic team, fantastic player. But the manager, I had Carlo Ancelotti and then Marcello Lippi. Marcello was especially a proper leader, charisma, so yeah, was fantastic journey.
In terms of his tactics, do you think Lippi was more about the flexibility he showed, especially working around his main players?
Yeah, Marcello was not focused on the tactical part, was more manage situation players, but in the same time, he was very good also tactically.
And with Carlo, of course, people know about how good of a manager in managing people, like managing his players he is, but in his daily treatment with you guys, how was it to work under him? And
fantastic, top. Carlo is a fantastic manager, no doubt, and top human being.
And how was the transition between Italy and Spain, which seemed like very different schools of football? I was watching especially the UEFA Cup final against Middlesbrough when you scored. You played very close to the box. You played very...
The box-to-box midfielder.
Yes. How much did you enjoy that? Did you feel like you developed this ability, this box-to-box ability more in Spain?
I was a normal player, but the good thing was that I could defend and attack. Sometimes the midfielder, they are very good defensive, or very good attacking. I was not very good defensive, not very good attacking, but I was okay.
What is important in a box-to-box midfield?
Our good example is Enzo Fernandez. He struggled at the beginning to understand where he has to arrive, where he has to finish the right position, and then now it's always there, it's always dangerous. So for me, a box-to-box midfielder, you have to know where you have to arrive inside the box, because you can arrive inside the box, but if you go random, you go in this position, that position, you struggle to score goals. While if you go always in the right position, but you have to know which one is the right position. When you go in the right position, it's much more easy for Enzo to score and for the one that they are crossing to know where they have to cross.
You also played at Malaga, where you met Pellegrini, and you've mentioned him many times as a big influence for you to become a manager. He seems to give a lot of freedom to players. How was it to learn from that and identify when you can give that freedom and how you can manage that freedom in the team?
Yeah. We do everything to allow players in the way we want to play, to allow players to have more time when they receive the ball, more space.
How do you balance that with positional play? It must be a tough thing to balance positional play and, freedom.
It's not true. This is the big, for me, the big mistake that people still think and still say that it's not true, because as I said, we try to give players more space, more time to show freedom when they receive the ball. But if the freedom for you is that you can move everywhere, that is not freedom, that is chaos. So the freedom, yes, I give you freedom. You can do what you want in that position when you receive the ball. And if everyone starts to move everywhere, you can prepare how you have to defend while you are attacking. Because now you can be right if you want the freedom. You can move right, you can move left, you can move forward, back. This is not freedom for me. This is chaos. I also love to give players freedom, but in the right position, because at the end, it's about team balance. It's not about one player.
Keeping the structure,
I still think that the positional idea, positional game, give to the players better picture, better space, better solution.
Is there an exchange of ideas in between managers these days?
Absolutely. Players also. I love to ask players, what do you think about this situation? How do you think we can solve this situation? Because at the end, many times, players, they give us solution.
Do you see a limit on what can be created in football? There's no saturation of ideas.
For me, no. In the way I always try to see different things, new things. But for me, a new thing can be 1 meter right or 1 meter left to receive the ball. This is for me a new thing. I think there is always things that you can add and you can learn.
There is this discussion because we see sometimes ideas from the past coming back and patterns and structures, but you think it's always evolving in a way.
So. Yeah, I think so. The reason why is also because in the moment that you find team that they achieve things playing one way, it can be 1 year, 2 years, but then the other team, they find how they can stop that. So if you don't evolve, it's finished.